Okay, whenever we are defining the non-static variables within the method, in that case, the non-static variables memory allocation is depends on the number of times we are calling a method. Okay, that is a memory-based process. To overcome that problem, to introduce constructors concept. Now, observing very clearly, okay, here I am taking as one class name test. I am defining one static variable. Next one, def. In the M1, I am defining one non-static variable self dot y equal to, okay. Now I want to find the address of x and address of y. Print of id of test dot x. Print of id of self dot y. Now t1 equal to test class t1 dot m1 I am calling, t1 dot m1 I am calling, t1 dot m1 I am calling. Now I am creating one more object, t2 dot m1, t2 dot m1. Observing very clearly, here x is a which variable? X is a static variable. The static variable's memory allocation is only one time, but this is a non-static variable. Here I am defining the non-static variable within the method. In that situation, this non-static variable's memory allocation is depends on number of times we are calling this method. In your program, how many times I am calling this method? I am calling how many times? 5 times. In that situation, 5 times is allocated the memory space for y variable. But how many objects I am created? 2 objects created, but 5 times memory is allocated. That is a problem. Observing very clearly. Okay, this is a X address. We are observing clearly X address is common. Because X is a which variable? Static variable. The static variable to allocate the memory space only one time. This is a Y address. This is another Y address. Y address. Y address. How many times we are calling M1 method? That number of times to allocating the memory space for this particular variable. Are you clear? Whenever we are defining the non-static variables within the method, in that case, the non-static variables memory allocation is depends on the number of times you are calling a method. Now observing very clearly. Okay, in Python, if you want to create a constructor underscore underscore init underscore underscore, don't writing self. Okay, this variable I am defining here. Okay, in this scenario, I am defining non-static variable within the constructor. This is a constructor. I am explaining next one. the constructor will be executed only one time with respect to one object. In my program, how many objects I am created? Two objects I am created. Only two times this constructor is executed. That means two times only to allocating the memory space for non-static variable. Okay, whenever we can define the non-static variables within the constructor, in that situation, the allocating the memory space for non-static variables is depends on the number of objects we are created. Okay, previously two objects I am created, but five times I am calling method. That's why five times is allocating the memory space for y. But here, how many objects I am created? Two objects. I am defining the constructor in within the which one? I am defining the non-static variable within the constructor. The constructor is executed with respect to one object only one time. Now, how many objects? Two objects. Two times this constructor will be executed. That means two times we are allocating the memory space for non-static variable. Okay, this is a X address. Okay, X address is common. This is a Y address. This is a Y address. This is a Y address. Next one. This is a Y address. And this is a Y address. Now here, how many times memory is allocated for Y? Two times. Here one time, same address. Here one time. Totally two times. How many objects we are created depends upon the number of objects creation. To write this one. Whenever we are defining the non-static variables within the constructor, in that case, the non-static variables memory allocation is depends upon the number of objects. Number of objects we are created. Next subheading, what is constructor? Constructor is a special kind of method. This is also a method. Special kind of method, comma, which is used to initialize the non-static variables of a class. The main purpose is constructor to initializing the non-static variables. Python __ init under init is a constructor. In Python, constructor name should be, we can take it as a dunder init. That is a built-in defined constructor. In Python, dunder init is a constructor. Next one, the constructor will be executed. The constructor will be executed at only once. Not at only once. The constructor will be executed automatically at the time of creating an object, at the time of creating an object, the constructor will be executed automatically at the time of creating an object, at the time of creating an object. Now I am defining one constructor under init. I am in constructor. I am defining one method M1. I am in method M1. P1 equal to test. Write this system. Completed. Okay, this is a which statement? Object creation statement. At the time of creating an object, internally this constructor logic is executed. Okay, but our method is not executed. Okay, whenever we are calling a method, then only method logic is executed. Next, another before that one, with respect to one object, the constructor will be executed. The constructor will be executed at only once. But with respect to one object, we can call one method n number of times. With respect to one object, the constructor will be executed at only once. But with respect to one object, we can call one method n number of ways or a number of times. Okay. With respect to T1 object, I am calling T1.m1, T1.m1, T1.m1. T2 equal to test class, T2.m1, and T2.m1. Now observing very clearly, I am creating two objects. At the time of creating an object, the constructor will be executed. Now how many objects I am created? Two objects. That's why 2 times constructor will be executed. But method is executed depends upon our number of times we are calling. Now how many I am calling? Here with respect to T1 object 3 times and with respect to T2 object 2 times, totally 5 times. Completed. Next, one more example. Now I'm defining the one class. Class name is student. Now I'm defining college name, the college address, I'm defining constructor, dot student ID, dot student name. Now I'm defining one method, student underscore info, print self dot student ID, print self dot student name, print of student dot college underscore name, print of student dot college underscore address. Creating S1 equal to student class, S1 dot student underscore in. This is a constructor, this is a method. The main purpose of constructor is to initializing the non-static variables. These are the static variables. Completed. Completed. Now observing very clearly in this example, for suppose I am creating second student object. Now S2 dot student underscore info. Now both the students having the same data because already I am defining this is a static data. Don't changing this data. You can creating a number of objects. Those objects having same data. Student ID is 101 and student name is Shiva. But my requirement, I want to changing this data from one student to another student. In that situation, we are using parameterized constructors. Parameterized constructor means this is a built-in which one attribute or parameter that is a default self. Next one I am taking as a user-friendly parameters. Simply SID and name. Not only SID name, we can take X comma y, we can assign the X comma y. Now I'm assigning the SID here. I'm assigning the name here. Okay, at the time of creating an object, internally what will be happen? Constructor is executed. Now at the time of creating this object, compulsory we are passing the values of our user defined parameters like as a SID and name. Now SID value I am passing 101 and name I am passing Shiva. Coming to at the time of creating a second object, 102 I am passing and Rama. Now student 1, 101 on Shiva, and coming to student 2, 102 and Rama. Write this another example. This is the example of parameterized constructor. Okay, explicit parameters. Completed. So suppose I am taking the values at runtime. In that situation, simply observing very clearly here input of enter student ID. Next one here I am using input of enter student name. Okay. Now observing very clearly. Enter student ID 101. Enter student name. I am passing Shiva. Now that information is printed. Next asking again, enter another student ID 102. Enter student name is Rama. Now it is printed. Okay, for suppose I want to creating any number of objects. Okay, same statements we can return. That means for suppose S3 equal to student. Again we are calling S3 dot student underscore info. For suppose if you want to creating one more object, S4 equal to student and the S4 dot student underscore info. Okay, here I want to creating 4 objects. That's why 4 times I am written this logic. For suppose if you want to creating a number of students objects, in that situation, this type of statements we can creating a number of times. Simply, I am using one iteration like as a while loop. While next observing very clearly, choice equal to do you want to create object. Create student object. Okay. If choice is are in, you can take anything like as a yes or y or capital Y I am typing. or capital YES, or one more option, capital Y small ES. Okay, we can take any option. Now I am creating a student object, student. Next I am calling student dot info, student underscore info. Don't require these number of times. Okay, next, otherwise, for suppose condition, if condition is failed, control go to else block. I want to exit from that loop. Simply we are using break. Printer. Thanks for using. Okay. Okay, do you want to create student object? Now I'm typing Y. Now asking enter student ID. 101 student name Shiva I am passing. Now that information is printed. Again asking. Now I'm typing Y. Enter student ID 102. Okay, next one. Except to S or Y, capital Y or capital YES, we can type any character. Simply I'm taking as a no. Or again. Now control will go to outside the loop. Thanks for using. My application message is printed. This is the one example to creating an object by using iteration. Creating an object by using iteration. Okay, this is a which one? At runtime, you want to take the values. At the same time, if you want to creating an object through the iteration concept. In next class, I am explaining one or two examples on same iteration concept. After that, I am explaining what are the basic differences between method and a constructor. After that, we will starting garbage collection. At the time of discussing garbage collection, we will discussing destructor concept. Anybody, any doubt?
Sir?
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, that thunder method, why we are using, sir, init?
That is a constructor in Python. In Java, we can take class name as a constructor name. But in
Yes,
Python, we are following some guidelines. In Python, dunder init is act as a constructor.
Same, sir. For every program, the same name.
Yeah, for every program, every developer should be using this constructor name.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir, I am late to class.
In Python, dunder init is a constructor. Dunder del is a destructor. These are all built in. Okay, these dunder methods are already predefined for some special purpose. We are using that dunder methods only that particular purpose.